What's going on, everybody? My name is Aiden and welcome back to another video. Ladies and gentlemen, hot off the first round exit for the Milwaukee Bucks, now begins the rumors of Giannis Antetokounmpo leaving. And of course, Bulls fans love to get involved in this conversation. It seems like almost everywhere you go, there's at least one mock trade that sends Giannis Antetokounmpo to the Chicago Bulls. I guess, you know, we are playing in a little bit of a fantasy land here in free agency, and especially in the offseason. You know, the Bulls don't have that much to talk about, right? So I guess with that being said, let's talk about my thoughts on Giannis Antetokounmpo potentially being a Chicago Bulls player. Is it actually a realistic thing? And I guess a very interesting question is, should this be the thing that the Bulls actually do? Now, a couple of years ago when I made a video about Giannis, I would say this would be a dream come true and the Bulls should have no other question but yes. If they have a way to pull it off, they should do it. A few years later, our circumstances are different. Giannis' circumstances are different. Doesn't make sense now. Let's talk about it. But before we get into the video, if you like it and you want to see more from me, drop a like, drop a follow, and or subscribe if you are new. And let me know in the comments below your thoughts about the Chicago Bulls. And would you like to see Giannis Antetokounmpo find a way to the Chicago Bulls team? I don't know how it's going to be possible mathematically. I'm not really going to be talking about the financial side of things here because I really don't know how that's going to work. I haven't done much information and research on that. But what I can tell you is things do look like it's heading in a bad way for the Milwaukee Bucks. Another first round exit. Unfortunately, and I mean this because I love Damian Lillard. Damian Lillard suffering a torn ACL or torn Achilles, I think it is, and being probably out for the majority of next season as well, definitely hurts. And as someone that's kind of in that aging superstar kind of category, there's not a lot going right for Milwaukee. I think they were first round exits 3 years in a row. So that's very disappointing. And for a caliber of player like Giannis, he can't spend his career always being first round exits. He does have one championship, and that championship is an historic one. But at the end of the day, Giannis is probably going to be in a position next season or the season after where if he continues to be with the Milwaukee Bucks, he's going to grow even more frustrated with the lack of progression that team has made. So maybe this season is the season he does leave the Milwaukee Bucks. I personally think it makes sense this season for him to leave the Milwaukee Bucks. It's very similar to how I feel about Joel Embiid leaving the 76ers. Obviously different circumstances. Giannis is a generational talent that wants to compete and win for championships and can probably still go at the highest level, whereas Joel Embiid gets injured every season, misses more games than he plays, and is probably on the verge of his team giving up on him, in a sense. It's a different situation, but two really good players, they probably should be leaving their team. And at the end of the day, that's how I view Giannis, as a generational talent that can still perform at the highest level at the age of 30, still very athletic, still has a lot of dynamics to his game that can make any team successful, and with the right environment around him can still compete for championships. That is Giannis Antetokounmpo in a nutshell. So, with that being said, I guess let's talk about it from a Chicago Bulls standpoint. What does Giannis bring to us? Well, the first thing is championship experience. We don't have many players, if any, at this point of our roster. I mean, who on our roster has even been close to a championship? Maybe Javon Carter? I mean, let's be honest. Giannis brings championship experience from a superstar standpoint. And he is a generational talent. There is no other way to describe what Giannis brings. He's a generational talent, championship experience. When you bring him onto your team becomes instantly better. No matter what we give up as well, by the way, our team becomes better with Giannis Antetokounmpo on it. So, of course, when you bring Giannis in, you're thinking, okay, we've picked a direction, the direction to compete. You bring another couple of pieces around him, you know what? We might have a team there, ladies and gentlemen. And I do think Giannis could probably perform better with the Bulls currently than what he would with the Milwaukee Bucks. I mean, let's just assume you keep the core of Josh Giddey and Kobe White together and you're trading a whole bunch of other assets. Like, sadly, you'd have to put Matas Buzelis in there. But guys like Nikola Vucevic, Patrick Williams, Matas Buzelis, maybe Chuck Ayu in there, whatever it is, right? With a couple of picks, you get a generational talent like Giannis in there. That team is probably going to be better than what it was last season. There's no other way to describe it. And you'd have to assume the Bulls would bring more pieces in to make that better. You could probably see the Bulls be in the playoffs. And, that's probably what a lot of Bulls fans want, to be in the playoffs and to be in a competitive environment. He's a guy that's going to get you more free throws, that's for sure. The Bulls have been lacking in that department for a while. Thankfully, Kobe White is someone that's starting to get to the free throw line a little bit more. But other than that, we don't have that many guys that could get to the line. He's obviously someone that's going to like playing faster with a faster team. Giannis is a coast-to-coast player. He's more than happy to grab a rebound and go coast-to-coast with it if a team can't stop him. And I think a guy like Kobe White will thrive with a guy like Giannis in the team, because his ability to score, he could probably do a little bit more than maybe what a Damian Lillard can at this point in his career. I'm not saying that he's a better player, but someone that's a little bit younger, maybe more durable, leads the league, top 10 in minutes. You could probably see a little bit more from Kobe White than what you would see from a Damian Lillard at this point. Yeah, you see probably Kobe White thrive in that environment. Josh Giddey, probably not. I think if you bring Giannis in, Josh Giddey's ball touches, for example, and just overall role gets regressed, very similar to what you saw with the OKC Thunder. That's a sacrifice you're going to have to make with bringing a guy like Giannis in. So there's a lot of positives, right? The question is it the right move to make for the Bulls now? And I want to make this a genuine question, because Giannis is a generational guy, and it would be lovely to have a guy like Giannis on the Chicago Bulls. There's no doubt in my mind about that. But the question is it the right move? Let's be honest. We are not the Milwaukee Bucks. The Milwaukee Bucks are better than the Chicago Bulls. With Giannis, that's a different story, of course, as I just mentioned. But if the Milwaukee Bucks are better than us, and Giannis comes to a team that finished 10th in the Eastern Conference, I mean, technically 9th, but we lost to the Heat. So he's coming to a team that's finished 10th in the Eastern Conference. What do you truly expect with Giannis on the Bulls? Do you expect instant championship contention? Well, judging by the historical events of Giannis' career, we're going to need a whole lot more than just Giannis to be able to compete for a championship. Otherwise, we are the team that's being bounced out in the first round each and every single season. That's obviously better than where we are now, but is that truly what you want for the Chicago Bulls? Is that the right idea for you guys? Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. You also have to look at timelines here. We've got a young core with Josh Giddey, Kobe White, Matis Buzelis, whoever we pick in the NBA draft this season, Ayo Dosunmu. There's a young core here being built. And do you really want to make the same mistakes that we made when we traded our young talents of before, like Larry Markkinen and Wendell Carter and, probably a whole bunch of other guys that I don't know of, because, but that was the young core that was in that 8th seed at the time. We traded a whole bunch of them for Vucevic and DeRozan and signing Lonzo Ball and all this stuff, right? We sent Lowry to Cleveland and all these things. Like, do you really want to make those similar mistakes? It will be similar. You are trading youth and our future for a win now type of situation. You know how that works, guys. I don't need to explain it to you. If you don't end up winning, it's going to be a failure, just like this experiment was a failure with Vucevic, DeRozan, Levine, Lonzo. It was a failure. It works for half a season, and then it failed. For a variety of reasons, some of them you can't put on the Bulls, but it failed. Do you want to make the same mistake by trading that youth for Giannis Antetokounmpo? So, it's really up to you how you feel about Giannis and how you feel about him bringing something to the Bulls. If you truly think Giannis Antetokounmpo alone is going to come into the Bulls and win you a championship, then you have to go for it. You have to take the risks, because championship success is the only thing that matters in the NBA. But I personally think that time has passed. And I love Giannis. And I think Giannis would be amazing here. And heck, I'd be the type of person, if Giannis gets traded, I'm buying his jersey tomorrow. Like, I'm definitely going to be the biggest Giannis fanboy you'll ever see. But the way that I see it now, we have something here in this youth. Matis Buzelis had a great first season. Ayo, when he comes back, is going to be great. Even guys like Trey Jones, if you keep them around, could be good. We obviously need to pay Josh Giddey and Kobe White as well. There's a lot that we have to do. And even trading Nikola Vucevic, whatever. There's a lot that we need to do. And from that standpoint, I truly believe we have something here, and we should not be letting go of that yet. The only thing that would make me want to let go of that is if you have a plan for after Giannis. Because if you're just trading Giannis in here and getting rid of our future, we still will not win a championship. We need more. We're going to need a lot more. We're going to need those crafty veterans. We're going to need that three-point shooting. We're going to need a guy next to Giannis that could be the difference maker. Yes, Kobe White could be that, but we're going to need more. And if we don't get that, then this is a wasted chance. So I think we should probably be sticking with the youth, or at least getting a superstar that fits that timeline. Which will be hard to do, of course, but we'll have to figure it out. I don't know. It's a difficult question. And definitely I'd be happy with Giannis here, but I don't know if I'd be willing to trade our entire youth for that. You know, the Nets might be. I mean, that's the rumor right now. He's going to go to the Nets. We'll see what the Nets do. That could be interesting for Giannis. But again, if they trade all of their players for Giannis, or all of their youth, including their picks, they have a good bunch of picks, more than us, I believe. And they do have players that they could probably let go. And they can sign a Giannis Antetokounmpo. I think the only team that can technically afford him at this point. Does that make Brooklyn a championship team? In my opinion, it does not. It does not. You see it with teams like the Nuggets. Jokic is the best player in the world, but without that Jamal Murray and that foundation of the team, at least from the starting lineup standpoint around them, they don't win. Kawhi Leonard is a generational talent for the Clippers versus the Denver Nuggets. If Kawhi Leonard didn't have a James Harden and didn't have a good foundation team around them, he doesn't win. LeBron needs a Luka to win and the foundation around it. Giannis, I guess the second in command would be Kobe White, but we're going to need the foundation around it, or we might even need another second option there for us to win. Giannis will not be enough. So there's a lot that we're going to need to dive into there. Hopefully, for the Bulls' standpoint, we could figure it out if we're going to make a deal like that. I guess another question, I'm asking a lot of questions here. Can you trust AK and the Bulls front office, if they do trade for Giannis, to go above and beyond and build a team around him that's going to be winning championships? If you could trust AK to do it, then you may as well let it fly, as Chris Smoove likes to say. I don't know. There's too many variables. And I just don't think the Bulls are going to be taking that big of a risk heading into this next upcoming offseason. It's probably going to be very similar to what you saw last season. We're going to be re-signing our guys and going younger and continuing that progress. Maybe a potential trade for Nikola Vucevic, a sign and trade or something on the horizon. I don't know. Just a normal trade because he has a year left. Maybe something like that can happen, but that's probably about it. So, yeah, it is what it is. We'll see. Too many variables for me, and I don't think the Bulls are going to be doing something like this. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Stay safe, stay healthy, and stay tuned for more. Take care, and peace.